Okay, here we go. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So, a little history is that it was an app that was written by Boston College about 10 years ago. And they created it as a script to connect with Alma so that there would basically be automated spine templates that would pull from bib records. Um, it was taken over by Ex Libris, and so there is a cloud app as well. So there's two options for how you can use it, and I'll show you both a little bit. So essentially, it creates your custom labels in an automated way based on what is in your XML files for items. Um, there is a like set of existing templates in the software, and then you can also create two user-defined formats. And this is maybe one of the places where you may decide that having something more standard is worth changing what you're currently doing. Or you may decide that using SpineOMatic for 85% of your items is better than nothing. So it may not be a 100% fit with what you're doing. According to users and documentation, it does print to these three label printer machines, but it can also print batches of labels to a laser printer using like multi-label sheets. So if you're thinking about getting a new label printer or like not using a label printer specifically, this might be a way to kind of like set up a new printing setup. So there are two ways to install. There is the window app that is actually needs to be downloaded on the workstation on the computer where the printing would happen. And that is available through the Ex Libris GitHub. And you just click the exe file. There is a little like warning thing that says that it requires .NET 4.x framework, but I think it's pretty standard. Like I don't know why like a staff workstation wouldn't have that. But it also has instructions on how to download that. The other option is the cloud app. And in order to use that one, you need to have cloud apps activated at your institution. So I'm going to show you both of those. And seriously, it literally worked like 2 seconds ago. Love it. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're gonna go back. Where is it? Okay, so in order to get to the exe file, I'm gonna change this link right now since it decided to be dumb. Okay, so in order to get it, you want to go to the README file because you can see there's no exe in here. And when you open that, it tells you what the system requirements are. And then you click on this, and you'll want to like save as, and put it like in its own folder, like in your apps or your, whatever, wherever your software folder is on your computer. And then I did link to this wiki. And the wiki, I really hate the, okay, where is the wiki? The wiki. So the wiki has this quick start guide. And I didn't really go through these. I went ahead and found some instructions from other institutions that were very nice and had good snips in them. So the other way to do it is through cloud apps. And so I tried to do it in Sandbox and it's not activated. However, I'm just going to show you what it looks like at Shoreline, because they do have cloud apps activated. Now, Ex Libris is like, yes, if you need to activate cloud apps, just go to Configuration, General, Cloud Apps, Configuration. But I can't get that to like stick. So you may need to open a ticket with Ex Libris to activate activate cloud apps, which will then show up in your top menu here as this little tile thing. And you'll see your activated apps and then available apps. And it's on page 3, I think, but you can just search for Spine. And then you can see you just open it and you can activate it. I'm not going to activate it for Shoreline because I don't want anyone to be like, what's going on? But I found a wonderful series of videos, very weirdly hidden, on how to set up the cloud app. And then I found a great set of tutorials on from another institution on how to set up the Windows app. So the Windows one is from Emory, and they've been using it for quite a while. So you may find that some of the configuration options are a little different because we are on version 8. And I think they're talking about like version 7 in the instructions. And then this is a written guide to setting up the cloud app. But then here are the videos. And they're pretty decent. So I did install the Windows app so that you can kind of see what it looks like here. So once it's downloaded, you can configure your printer if you have a specific text font and size, your barcode font and size. You'll want to either have those like the text font, if that's like in your system already, great. If you need to download those, you'll want to have them on your computer. This is where a lot of the tweaking can kind of come in and playing with things, trying to figure it out. And that's why those videos are really good. Even though the videos are for the cloud app, it kind of explains all of the different terms. You've got the label prefixes that you can put in. I think there's some place where you can probably find other people's XMLs. And then the Alma access is where you'll put in your server address, which I can help you find in your configuration screens, and your API key, which I can either get for you if you're interested in having access to the developers network so that you can pull it yourself. However, based on what I found from Wade, he actually created API keys for every institution for SpineOMatic. So yeah. So when you, where is it? So somewhere in here you can do like when you do it, where is it? There was some place where it was like tweak and test. So you can, because I'm already in tweak and test. So it looks like this. So you can choose the different settings and then you can go into tweak and test, and it tells you like what's going to be pulled if you do custom, and so you can choose different sources of information. So, hold on. So, will it work for you? Probably. Um, it is kind of based on basic use templates. And so those might match what you are currently doing, no problem. Or you might need to adjust those, and that could take some very tricky stuff. So, oh, yes. And I didn't have chat open, so I will share this stuff with the meeting minutes right now. And then yeah, Amy, your other chat about the message on the major Alma listserv, I didn't see that. However, I did see that Ex Libris sent me a message about a ticket that had been opened years ago about films on demand. And they're just like, yep, we're not going to do anything about it. So, like, it seems like they are just going through and closing things so they don't have them open because they're like, meh, we need better stats out of our service section. And that, yeah, so fun times. But so developer network, if you do have access, it's under manage keys. If you don't, I can get the API key for you, or I can create a access thing for you. I think it would be wise to have really only one centralized user for the institution, and then like the Whack to Click account that Wade initially created, and that I have all the passwords and stuff too. So I am systematically going through and changing all of the usernames. No, not usernames, but like display names for those accounts, because Wade made them all his name. So then I log in and I'm like, wait, which institution am I at? So I'm changing them all to like Whack to Click or Carly, and then your institution name. So you know what the heck is going on. And so that if I or the next person log in, they don't get confused. So anyway, and okay, what else did so there is this tech blog from Alma that kind of shows how it works as the window app as well. I've got that in the document. Do I? Did I put it in there? Nope, I may not have. So I will also do that. Um, yeah, does anyone have any questions, or like want to see, like, want me to poke around in the software together, or does anyone already use this? They would like to share your experience?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Cara Beth in that, like, I've been interested in moving to SpineOMatic for years, but I just haven't had the time.
Well, and I think if someone does have a little bit of time, I would be happy to, like, kind of be a second brain and help you set it up, so you're not trying to do it on your own. But like it's like the print demon, like I can't set it up for anyone, but maybe if we can like kind of show a use case and say, okay, this is what our things actually look like, and then this is how we wanted them to look in SpineOMatic, and this is what we needed to do. Excuse me, a little hiccup. Then we could certainly, I don't think it would take a ton um of work. However, this like Windows app does look quite a bit different than the cloud app. Um, so depending on how you're going to install it, we might like need two people who want to guinea pig and work on that with me. I do think that if we got some good documentation um, and directions on how to tweak and things like that, that after the initial setup, you would find that it does save you quite a bit of time if you're, getting a whole bunch of books in at the beginning of the school year. So, Carbeth?
The reason I raised that question yesterday on the email list, we've been doing spine labels manually since before I've been here 21 years, and we were doing that when I came in. So we've been doing, we can no longer buy the label stock that we previously used, and we're almost out of it. So I'm like, okay, what are our options? And then I think I was poking around on, I think I was looking at the Ex Libris help, and I was like, oh yeah, I've heard people talking about this. My age is catching up with me. I'm blanking on names right
It's
and
an
left.
app, it's an extension. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, the SpineOMatic, and I think there was another one that I hadn't heard of when I was looking in the Ex Libris help stuff, but I'd heard people talking about the SpineOMatic, so I was like, okay, let's look into this. And so I was hoping somebody might have an example of like I don't know what kind of label stock I should buy.
What's your printer?
What?
What's your printer? What do you use? Like, what's the physical
It's
print
just
device?
it's a I don't know what brand it is. It's just a printer that the IT people supplied for us. So
Like, does it only do spine labels? Is it because
no,
we're printing on a
we
laser printer?
no, we type, we literally, it's a manual thing. We type into a publisher document that's
Ooh,
set up,
sorry.
Oh,
and then print it out and hope that it lines up with the label stock that we've got in there. So
do you have a networked laser printer at all
yes,
in your
yes.
department? So one of the things that you could do right away is you can print labels in batch in connection client to a laser printer using the SP1 label format. You can order the SP1 labels from Brodart, from Gaylord. Some of the library suppliers have merged in the last few years, and I don't know who's who. I would specifically recommend the foil backed SP1 labels.
Demco.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Brodart and Demco will sell you foil backed SP1 labels. You can stick the sheets in your laser printer. You can print multiple at a time through connection client. Like it sends it straight to the laser printer. We found that we can run the sheets through the laser printer 3 times before they start to get smudgy. So like if you print 10 labels, you can run the sheet through again for another batch where you do 10 more books. Does that make sense?
So Kirsty, you're not, excuse me, you're not using SpineOMatic, you're doing the method you're just describing?
Yeah. So we get the bib records into Connection Client where we're doing most of the cataloging work. And there's a command in the Connection Client software that will let you highlight all the records that you want to print labels for. And you can even set it up so that if you do a special holdings code within the bib record, it will automatically print a call number prefix like ref or I don't know what.
So
when we're not using Connection Client, there's a free OCLC program called OCLC Label Printer that will.
I think that's what.
But that's like that you have to enter stuff in manually again. And I would say either print the labels from Connection Client or use SpineOMatic, because SpineOMatic is going to pull directly from the item record.
So here is the Connection Client with a zebra label printer. I'm gonna throw these on too. Victoria said that they use SpineOMatic. And I did find the SP1 labels. These are not
you're doing the laser.
Yes.
You want the sheets. And you should, I think you would be able to use SpineOMatic to send to your laser printer.
Oh yeah, it says you can. Anyway, so you could buy these SP1 spine labels, and then using SpineOMatic, it'll say like, so here's the like setup panels. So it'll say, like the typical 1 by 1.5, and the SP1 is, but nope, that's the wrong one. 1 by 2. But it says batch print. So if we go to print setup batch print, it tells, it says how many. Oh, and it's in the pre thing is 2 by 1. So it seems that the default is that SP1 size.
Okay, and we do we do spine labels, and then we put what we call them a back labels, because it goes in the back cover of the book, and it has like basic like author title, barcode number. What else does it have on it?
That, if you're doing that, there's another format. I think it's called SL6. When I worked at St. Martin's, the monks had their own little library, and they wanted the spine label, but then they also wanted like a long label that had the author and the title that they would put on little cards inside the book. And so when somebody took a book off the shelf, they'd take out the card and stick it in a box, the old style way. And I think that format is called SL. Oh, maybe it's SL4.
4.
Yeah.
This one is 12 lines long, 8 characters wide. Pocket, it's a pocket label. But
oh yeah, so on the SL4, the idea is you're gonna print up the spine label, you're gonna print up 2 long labels that have the title and the author, and one of those labels is gonna go on a card, and one of those labels is gonna go on the pocket. For when the card is not there.
Yeah, we no longer have pockets, but same idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you could use the SL4 format and then just, you know, you know that you'll print out 2 labels and you throw one away. Or you could just decide that you don't need that label with the title and the author in the back of the book. It's up to you.
So here's one that has like a tall, a square, and a large.
Yeah, I was looking at those and I'm like, I can only use
Some of those sizes.
3, 4, 8 of those per sheet. And so I was looking at others where I can get like 10 per sheet or I think up to 12. So yeah. And Kirsty, you said something about using the foil backed. Why would you use the foil backed? Because those are more.
I know. What I've found is that if you don't use the foil backed, the paper is really, really thin and you get a lot of bleed through. It's hard to read the call number label if you have to put it over like anything with a design on the cover,
Right.
or if it has to overlay any text that will show through the call number and it will make the call number hard to read.
Okay. I did read a couple of, there were a couple, I was on Demco yesterday and because I think that's where we last ordered our label stock from. And I was looking at different options and one of them I was like, okay, I don't want to order that because there were a couple of reviews that said, you know, it's really thin. It doesn't work well if you're putting it over some other text. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, and the other nice thing with the foil backed labels too is if you ever need to change the call number at any point and put a new label on, the foil backed labels are going to cover that old call number.
Okay.
Yeah, we were at one point when I got to Seattle, we were using the normal not foil backed labels,
right?
And they were just automatically putting 2 labels down to make sure that the label was legible. And like, that's it's so much more time consuming.
Yeah, right.
Than just a foil back label. What was the SLB format that I saw?
Hold on. It was the stupid screen share thing, like covers my.
But basically, if you want to print one label at a time, then you want something like a zebra, or I think it's called a Dymo.
Yeah, the Dymo is one of the ones that it says is supported by.
Yeah,
these.
okay. Zebra and Dymo are the 2 big ones. If you're printing labels.
Okay, so SLB, 1 spine, 1 processing label.
Okay, so it sounds like that's what you want, Carva.
Let's look it up.
That was SLB. Oh.
Okay. SLB, continuous foil backed. Well, this is the continuous one that would like fit in a Zebra or Dymo. Wonder if they have them in sheet continuous. Here's the broad art.
Yeah, my question is, how much do the Zebra printers cost? Because I need to, if we go that route, my library director is going to want to know how much is it going to cost? And how long do they last? How reliable are they?
Look for Dymo.
Okay.
They seem to last for
So
close to decades.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure every single one I've ever seen at a library I worked at was ancient.
Okay.
Yeah, like people set it up in the 70s or 80s, and
Like this is a very fancy one, and
Oh,
I
wow.
doubt anyone here would need that.
Yeah.
This one just so this is like for use with Dymo label managers. So here's this Dymo label manager for $73.
but that looks like the kind of thing where you have
But
to
this is a
do-
manual one.
Okay.
and you
Yeah.
would
Here,
avoid that.
label printers and guns. Way to make things easy, bro dart. I literally did zebra printer and it okay, well they don't have it, that's why.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think with Zebra, you might have to buy
To go
directly
direct.
Okay.
from the vendor.
Mm. They got them on Amazon, man.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we'll go to the site though. Because now we're all learning things and I love it. Find your match. Let's do this, Carabeth.
Oh, God. That photo, like industrial library.
Okay. Mm,
Huh.
other?
Oh,
It's that or public sector.
Asset labeling. Just desktop. Print volume. Yup. Definitely less than 1,000
Yeah,
unless
oh,
you're
yeah.
redoing everything. We do not need RFID, do we?
no.
Or color.
Wow.
Okay. And matches for you. So this one looks not very large. Don't make me put this into Amazon. Yeah, no, I want price. Well, now you guys know everything I order on Amazon. Nerdy library stuff, dog treats, and I watch Psych. Okay, so the SD40, we were looking at an SD6.
Okay.
Here's the ZSB small home office one.
Hmm.
Desktop monochrome.
That GK one looks almost like a mini version of the one I have.
This guy or
That
this
one.
guy. And it's got USB, so I'm assuming this is one you could auto print to. So
But so in this case, you couldn't use any of the call number type label stock.
no, but Broad Art
It's
does
like
have the continuous
right.
labels, and they have, and that was like a 4-inch one. So you just have to like.
Are the continuous labels, are they compatible with with those printers?
So this says media rolls, 1-inch core, and max width of 4.5. So if we go back to broad art, oh no.
Too many tabs.
Right.
Nope, not that broad art. Mm. Mm. Seriously. Just well, so here's continuing process, and then so foil, and then carrier width 3 5/8, compatible with. So I think you could just we were looking for, what was that, a Dymo or a Zebra? Zebra continuous label.
I'm guessing if you emailed Brodart or Demco.
Yeah, ribbon for
Yeah.
Zebra label printer. Labels for Zebra label printer. I think it's pretty standardized. Yeah, so this is Zebra printer, and then you just choose what size you want. And it says for use with, and we were looking at that GK420 on Amazon. Oh, 420D.
But from the picture, it kind of looks like it's like one.
And I lost it again.
Like you can do the labels with the author and title, or you can do the spine label, but maybe you can't do both on the same roll.
I think that would depend on which software you use.
Okay.
Well, like with my label printer, we print out DVD labels, which, you know, I don't do as many of those anymore. But I have to switch out the roll between the DVDs and the regular, you know, spine labels. So I just save them, the DVDs, for last.
Why is this? I mean, it says it's working, but well, so like this one has, so this is a 4.5 inch wide, so it fits in that one, and it's got a tall, skinny, and a large. So then you just set it up in whatever software to do both at the same time, which depending on whether you wanted to use the connection client label tool or SpineOMatic, I think would be like a great use case to figure out. And I would be happy to help explore. So yeah, but this is that SLB in continuous feed instead of the full sheet.
So what you might want to do, like just for now while you're researching your options, is order in some SLB label stock for a laser printer and print your labels to that with Connection Client. And then take some time to figure out, do you
Whether
want
you want to buy
bigger?
a,
Do you want to get a
Mhm.
Dymo? What kind of label stock do you need? But that could at least get you up and running.
Right.
When whenever we have a new label printer, or whenever we have to change locations, as we have had to do in the last few years, we have to print a bunch of test labels to tweak the margins.
Yeah.
But usually, like within about 2 or 3 sheets, we can get the margins where we need them.
Okay. CompuType. I've never heard of them.
Victoria. Oh, for the tape, for the,
Yeah, and I believe we ordered the Zebra, the printer from them as well. And
Okay.
I just remembered that the GX printers are being discontinued. I mean, you can still get some service on them, but I don't know about the GK. Yeah, I think the GKs are fine, just the GX series, which is what we have.
I was gonna see if, well, and so it had it. Let's see if they even still list the GX. And then this university products seems to also. So I'm just wondering, so we just want desktop. So it looks like the ZD one they're really pushing.
Yeah, that's the one that they recommend if you're ready to get a new one.
ZD, oh, well, let's try the 400 because we're gonna, nope, fine. And let's try this on Amazon. So the 200 to 350 range, depending on how much oomph. Although some of them, but yeah, I think the like buying some of the sheets and printing either from Connection Client or and I can certainly, we could look at how to, this is where my lack of cataloging knowledge, like I have no idea what you even mean when you say collection client and how you'd access that or, find it or anything.
Connection Client is free OCLC cataloging software.
Yeah.
And it's like really, really old.
Yes.
Back in the days, you used to have to pay basically per minute connection fees with OCLC. And so OCLC developed this software program that you could install on your desktop for the small libraries who had really, really small budgets. And the idea is that you would connect just long enough to download your records. You would do all of your edits offline, And then you would, when you were all done, you would update your holdings in batch. So you would be connected just long enough to do that. And then you would stop the connection. So it saved you like thousands and thousands of dollars in connection fees. And one of the things they built into Connection Client was the ability to also print call number labels. And it's beautiful. Like you highlight a bunch of records within your Connection Client file and you click a button and you have these beautiful call number labels that print out within seconds.
The problem with us going with Connection Client is I often don't, we use fairly, for the most part, we go with LC, well, we're a Dewey library, but we go with the, whatever is in there, but there's a lot of cases where I don't use the call number that's in the OCLC record. So
and that's fine. Connection Client has these internal rules about what call number it will give priority. So if you create like you can tell it always print the Dewey label.
Right.
For these things, print the Dewey call number versus the LC call number. And you can also, what it will do is if you have a call number with an 050 second indicator 4, that will be the call number that it will print over anything else. And if you have multiple 050 second indicator 4 call numbers, Connection Client will automatically print whatever the first one is. So you can create your own call numbers in the program, and it will print them.
Oh, so 050, you're adding
so you're a Dewey library, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
Oh no.
let me think. So it's an 08 something.
Oh.
So you can tell it.
Okay. 082. Oh, so I would have to manually set the call number in my record.
Actually, no, not in each record. There's an option where you can tell it use Dewey call numbers, and then it just automatically knows to print Dewey call numbers for everything.
Right.
And if you're creating your own Dewey numbers, which would be 082, and then there's an indicator for that says this is a local call number.
Oh, I see.
Connection Client will automatically print the Dewey call number that's designated as your local call number instead of the PCC assigned Dewey number. And if there are multiple Dewey numbers within the record, it will print whichever one is on the first line. So if you have 3 Dewey call numbers in that record, that's 082, I don't know what the indicator is. Connection Client will automatically print the very, very first one.
Okay. Okay, so I just have to make sure that whatever call number I'm using appears first in the record.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I downloaded both of these. In order to install them, I have to like leave Zoom and do admin nonsense. But yeah, it sounds like this could most definitely be a more in-depth discussion. or perhaps even like a connection of people who use connection client versus a group for those who are using SpineOMatic or want to, so that we can kind of like have some troubleshooting and resource sharing for folks who want to set new processes up or something.
I mean, I would say if somebody is not using connection client at all, then the easiest thing would be to get SpineOMatic working. But if you are using connection client, then you can really, really quickly and easily set that up to print call number labels, either in batch to a laser printer or to something like a Zebra or a Dymo.
Okay, well, that was helpful. Thanks, Kirsty.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep exploring this so that if anyone wants to check it out and have a second person, I am ready. And I'm glad that we could get some information for Carbeth and also have like two perspectives on different software choices. Yeah, tech services and cataloging is my deficit area. However, I am in a related tangent. I'm going to try to enrich my education by getting an Alma acquisitions tutorial from a couple experts that I know, peek over their shoulder on decisions that they've made and why they made those decisions and what works and what they would change. And yeah, so that we can have an acquisitions discussion, because I know there are some libraries who are wanting to do that, and we've got Karen and Melinda who are presenting on it. So I feel like that's a good opportunity for us to kind of develop a larger workshop, kind of like the sushi one. So I think that may be like part of what we do this summer is like maybe some longer recorded workshops, and slightly less frequent meetings, but I'll send out a survey. It feels ridiculously early to be talking about summer, but it's not. So I want to start gathering information on how we can kind of keep the ball rolling for folks who are around, but also not leave our off-contract colleagues in the dark. So it's 10:54. I do want to remind you that Thursday is our sandboxes presentation from Ex Libris customer support. And I think we're all going to learn a lot, get a lot of clarity on like how and when and why we would use sandboxes. And I am hoping to also have at least an outline of kind of a new system protocol policies, so that everyone can then take their new knowledge of sandboxes and use a sandbox and not be running all over the top of each other, or what have you. So I think it will be a very excellent presentation. It will be recorded, and policies will be available as they're written. So I will make sure to get this recording up, because I think a lot of information was shared. And then I will see you all on Thursday. So have a great week.
Carly, I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save the chat and it's not working. It must be disabled.
The chat for this,
Yeah.
it's showing up for me. Since
All
this
right.
is recorded, I'll have I'll have the chat. I usually paste it at the bottom of the meeting minutes.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
So
Yeah, Wade used to do that.
yeah, I just like the file gets saved separately with the recording. And so then rather than attaching yet another file, I just copy the text
Yeah.
and paste it in the minutes. So
Yep.
it'll be in there.
That'll work great. Thanks.
Yeah. See you
Bye.
guys later.